Hey everyone! Before we jump into today's video, I just want to take a moment to say a huge thank you for all the endless support. Because of you, the channel has officially reached over 4,000 watch hours. That milestone has unlocked some exciting new features: Super Chat, which lets you send highlighted messages during live streams; Super Thanks, where you can show extra support on regular videos with a special highlighted comment; and Super Stickers, which are fun, animated stickers you can send during live chats to stand out and keep things lively. Plus, channel memberships are now available, giving you access to exclusive perks. And who knows, I might even do a members-only live stream sometime soon. I'm incredibly grateful for every like, comment, and view, and I'm so excited for what's ahead. Now, let's get into the video. Merry Christmas, everyone! Okay, I know it's not December yet, but hey, we are heading into the holiday season, right? So, in the spirit of celebration, let me share a little story about myself and how one particular musical sparked my love for all musicals. I was just a young kid, my mind overflowing with endless possibilities long before I ever discovered that my true passion was film. One night, during the holiday season, my extended family introduced me to a Christmas musical. One that especially caught my attention because of its music and witty acting. That hidden gem of a film, released in 1970 and starring the brilliant Albert Finney, is none other than Scrooge, a musical that quietly ignited my lifelong love for the genre. The musical Scrooge has a fascinating history rooted in both the enduring legacy of Charles Dickens and the creative energy of post-war British cinema. Released in 1970, the film was created during a time when musicals were enjoying a golden age in Hollywood, and the UK was eager to produce its own memorable contributions to the genre. The idea to adapt Dickens' A Christmas Carol into a full-scale musical came from a screenwriter and composer, Leslie Bricusse, who had already made a name for himself with successful musical projects like Dr. Dolittle and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Bricusse believed that the timeless story of Ebenezer Scrooge's redemption lent itself perfectly to musical storytelling. He saw an opportunity not just to retell the familiar tale, but to breathe new life into it with original songs and amazing choreography. The film was directed by Ronald Neame, a filmmaker known for his polished storytelling and attention to emotional detail, and the role of Scrooge was brilliantly taken on by Albert Finney, who was only in his 30s at the time, but used makeup and masterful acting to embody the elderly miser. What made Scrooge stand out was its emotional depth, lively choreography, and a score that balanced heartwarming moments with hauntingly reflective ones. The film honored the moral core of Dickens' classic while also embracing the joy and melancholy of the holiday season. It was both a nostalgic nod to the past and a fresh reinterpretation that resonated with new generations, making it an enduring holiday favorite and a quietly influential work that helped keep the musical genre alive during a time of shifting cinematic trends. In addition to Albert Finney's unforgettable performance, Scrooge featured a talented supporting cast that brought warmth and charm to the story. Alec Guinness, also known for his role as the original Obi-Wan Kenobi, delivered a delightfully eerie and theatrical turn as the ghost of Jacob Marley, adding a ghostly tone to the film. Edith Evans, a celebrated stage actress, played the ghost of Christmas Past with a serene wisdom that contrasted beautifully with the more flamboyant spirits. Kenneth More portrayed the ghost of Christmas Present, embodying the generosity and exuberance of the season, while David Collings added a tender presence of Bob Cratchit, grounding the film's emotional heart in a quiet dignity. Together, this remarkable cast helped transform Scrooge into a timeless holiday classic that continues to enchant audiences with its heart, humor, and unforgettable music. At least, that's what I wish was the case, since I think this might be one of the most criminally underrated musicals ever created. Before diving any deeper into this analysis, I highly recommend watching Scrooge if you haven't already. You never know. It might just become a cherished Christmas tradition for you as it has for me.
Albert Finney, Scrooge is your first singing role in films. What sort of voice do you have?
You'll find out later, I suppose. No, I don't know. I did a show, a musical, 10 years ago at the Royal Court.
And, Lily White Boy?
Yeah, and I thought I discovered a not too unpleasant baritone, or tenor, I don't know. I think they said baritone at the time. But as in this, of course, most of the numbers are, all my numbers are as the old man. And I want him, even when he's singing, to sort of have, obviously, a kind of, he doesn't have much resonance in his voice, and he doesn't have much great quantities of breath. I want this, in other words, the singing still to be very much in character, except at the end of the film, when when Scrooge is changed by his experiences. Then perhaps, a little more resonance comes back in.
But when you think of the musical at the present time, I mean, it is by definition a big budget film, it has to be. And yet a lot of musicals have failed recently. Did you regard this as a hazard or not?
No, I mean, when I got into it all rather quickly, but I was just extremely attracted by the thought of playing the character. I mean, when I read the script, I liked it very much, and the juices started to work inside, and I hadn't read a script that had that effect on me for some time, else I'd have done something else over the last year, presumably.
One aspect of Scrooge that often goes unnoticed but deserves real appreciation is its production design and atmosphere. The film does a remarkable job of recreating Victorian London, not in a glossy or overly romanticized way, but with a kind of theatrical richness that feels both magical and grounded. The sets are detailed and immersive, capturing the grit and gloom of Scrooge's world before his transformation, and then gradually brightening as the story progresses. It's a visual journey that mirrors his emotional one, and that contrast makes the redemptive arc even more powerful. The lighting, costume design, and even the foggy streets feel like characters themselves, all working together to pull the viewer into this cold, cobblestone world that is just waiting to be warmed by kindness. There is something very comforting about how tangible everything feels, and it adds to the film's lasting charm. It's not just the songs or performances that make this musical special. It's the world it builds around the characters, one that feels like it has real history and weight, which only makes the message of hope and transformation hit that much harder. Adding to that immersive world are the wonderfully quirky and witty characters that bring so much life and humor to the film. Take Tom Jenkins, for example. He is a cheerful, fast-talking soup seller who lights up every scene he is in. His big number, Thank You Very Much, is not just incredibly catchy, it is one of the smartest and funniest moments in the whole film. What starts out as a celebration of Scrooge's supposed death turns into something much more meaningful by the end. That kind of clever storytelling is part of what makes the movie so memorable. Tom represents the everyday people of London, the one who keeps smiling and pushing forward even when life is tough. But he's not the only standout. Mr. Fezziwig, with his joyful spirit and love for dancing, gives us a glimpse of the happier version of Scrooge that once existed. The Cratchit family, especially Bob, brings such warmth and heart to the story. Their quiet strength and love for each other make them easy to root for. Even the ghosts, who could easily just feel spooky or distant, are full of personality. Each one leaves a strong impression and adds something unique to Scrooge's journey. These characters are not just background, they are the heart of the story. Their kindness, humor, and honesty make the world of Scrooge feel real. And in the end, they remind us how much impact one person can have just by choosing to care. Real quick, if you're enjoying this video and want to support the channel in a bigger way, check out my Patreon. It's a great way to help me keep creating. You'll get some cool extras like behind-the-scenes stuff, early access, and more. Links in the description if you want to take a look. Thanks so much. The songs in Scrooge follow the story in a way that makes each one feel like a chapter in Scrooge's emotional journey, though I will admit there are a couple that don't really do much for me. The film opens with A Christmas Carol, a song that plays over a very long title sequence. While it sets the mood and introduces the setting, it honestly drags a bit for me. It feels like it is just trying to be atmospheric, but I find myself just waiting for the story to really begin. Once we get past that, things pick up with I Hate People, which gives us our first real taste of Scrooge's bitter personality. It's grumpy, theatrical, and filled with sharp lines that tell us exactly how he feels about the world. Albert Finney delivers it with so much sour energy that it's kind of fun to watch, even if the message is completely bleak. And as a child, this song stuck with me, and I found this song quite humorous. Not long after, we hear Father Christmas, a song sung by street children and performers. It's lively and full of energy, but the lyrics are a little heartbreaking when you realize how cynical these kids have become about a holiday that's supposed to be joyful. Then there's See the Phantoms, which I will be honest, just does not land for me. It's meant to be eerie and intense during the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come sequence, but it feels more like a noisy interlude than an actual song. There are no lyrics, and while the visuals are dramatic, the music itself feels out of place compared to the rest of the soundtrack. It breaks the emotional rhythm for me, basically. Then comes December the 25th, which is upbeat and celebratory, showing what the season means to the average person about Scrooge. It's one of those songs that sticks in your head and brings a little warmth to the story. Next is Happiness, one of the most emotional songs in the film. It plays during a flashback to Scrooge's younger years and his time with Isabel, the woman he once loved. It's soft, gentle, and filled with regret. This is where we start to see what Scrooge gave up for his obsession with wealth. It's followed by You, a short and reflective piece that brings that heartbreak full circle as Scrooge begins to realize what he lost. Thankfully, I Like Life is there to balance things out. It's one of those rare songs that brings genuine joy without feeling forced, and it plays a big part in helping Scrooge open his heart. And I especially like it when Scrooge loosens up while drinking a cupful of wine that the spirit of Christmas past tricks him into drinking. Drunk Scrooge might be one of the funniest things to me, and what a stellar performance Albert Finney brought to every aspect of the role. Right after that comes the highlight of the entire film, Thank You Very Much. This one is pure gold. It's joyful, funny, and packed with energy. The twist behind the song's meaning is clever, and the scene is so full of life that it instantly becomes unforgettable. It's the kind of number that perfectly balances humor and irony with genuine emotion, especially when it's reprised later with real gratitude. Finally, we reach I'll Begin Again, the emotional closing number. It's Scrooge's declaration of change and hope. After everything he's seen and felt, this is his way of starting fresh. The music swells, the lyrics are sincere, and it wraps up the story in the most uplifting way possible. Even though a couple of the earlier songs didn't quite connect with me, the strength of the others, especially Thank You Very Much, makes Scrooge a musical that I come back to every year.
And playback.
This is
Background action.
the tail end of a musical sequence where Scrooge is followed home, on his way home on Christmas Eve, by half a dozen urchins. They're little monsters who taunt him and tease him, and you heard a bit of the music then. They sing, Father Christmas, he's the meanest man in the old wide world, you can see it. And all the time that he's going home, Scrooge collects debts off all the people that owe him money. Albert Finney, of course, is in this shot, and I must say a splendid Scrooge he makes, too. When you're making a musical, you're subject to a tremendous amount of discipline. We have to be tremendously precise. Sometimes I have to make 2 or 3 lines fit into an absolute slot between 2 phrases of music. And the music you hear here is what we call a playback. The music is already recorded, the boys have already done their singing, and now, of course, they're singing to their own voices.
33, take 1. And playback! Father Christmas, Father Christmas, Father Christmas, Father Christmas. On his Merry Christmas while
Looking back on Scrooge, it's easy to see why this film left with such a lasting impression on me and sparked my love for musicals. It's not just the music or the performances or the Christmas setting, it's the way everything comes together to create something that feels timeless, honest, and deeply human. Yes, a few songs may not hit as hard as others, like the overly long title sequence with A Christmas Carol, or the darker, less engaging See the Phantoms, but even those have their place in the overall journey. And then there's the surreal, unexpected addition of Scrooge being dragged into literal hell, a moment so jarring and theatrical that it almost feels like a fever dream, yet it underscores the depth of his potential damnation in a way that few adaptations dare to visualize. What stands out most is how the film balances humor, emotion, and transformation in a way that is both entertaining and meaningful. Songs like Thank You Very Much, I Like Life, and I'll Begin Again do more than entertain. They tell the story of a man rediscovering the joy of being alive, and they do it with heart, wit, and an unforgettable melody. The supporting characters are full of charm, the performances are rich with personality, and Albert Finney's take on Scrooge, from bitter miser to humble man, carries a surprising amount of emotional weight. The film captures the true spirit of redemption without ever feeling preachy, and it wraps it all in a musical package that is both nostalgic and fresh. For me, Scrooge is not just a holiday tradition, it's a reminder of how powerful storytelling can be when it's done with sincerity and a little bit of theatrical magic. It may be one of the most underrated musicals ever made, but in my eyes, it's one of the most special. Thank you so much for watching. This video took a lot of time to make, so I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like and subscribe. And please make sure to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a future upload. More quality videos like this one coming soon. Once again, I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.